And welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will show you the benefit of using guidelines, templates, as well as the rules. So before I start this video, I create a pretty empty project using npx create next project. I give it a name as a to-do. So it's already run on port 3000. Let me show it to you in the browser. So as you can see, it's pretty empty and nothing over here yet. So here's what we're gonna do. So firstly, I will click on the setting and then go to the rules and memory. Let me just scroll this one a little bit down. So as you can see, currently it's pretty empty. So there's nothing in this area about the cursor rules and the project rules specifically. So if I would like to add new rules, I will click here or I click here. So either way, whatever you choose. So I will choose here, let's say best practice. After I give it a name, then it will be creating new directory here and then slash rules and then the rule that I created here. So as you can see, it's came up with a different way. It's always apply and then you create it depending on the agent, whether you decided to use it or not use it. Then you could apply it for specific folders or files. Let's say I will apply some sort of JavaScript rules and then TypeScript rules and so on. Or I will use add mention. So if I would like to create new feature that have certain elements, I will reuse them. Then I will use add mention that file. And then it came up with the following criteria. So to have description, lobs, and does it always apply. So if I would give it here like best practice, let's say, and then the globe will be only in JavaScript file, and then maybe in TypeScript and TypeScript X and so on. So I'll save these rules and go back to the settings. As you can see, it's been added here in this area. But I found a really good repository here in GitHub. It's called Awesome Cursor Rules. So it's almost reached like 51K of stars in GitHub, which is pretty cool. So if you scroll a little bit down, it's give you why it has been done like this way and so on. But in most interesting section, it's here. So let's say you are a mobile developer or CSS and styling, you would like to implement some new guideline to your existing project, then you could benefit from those. So for me, I would choose front-end framework and libraries. I have been just explore some of those. So I decided to go with this one. It's called nextjs react tailwind cursor prompt. First file here is called .cursor rules, which is pretty useful. So it says, hey, TypeScript, Node.js, Next.js, API routing, React, hidden UI, and so on. So this is like, this will be used for this project, for the specific case. You could manipulate and change this one. Let's say you are not big fans of this one, ADC and UI, you are looking for material UI and so on. So you could choose something else. So this could be just a good references if you are not familiar with how does the cursor rules are. But other than that, for example, code style, naming convention, TypeScript usage, syntax, formatting, UI, and so on. So like full description, how should this project behave? So for me, I will just go here, copy a file and go back, create a new file called, should be actually in the cursor level, cursor rules, then save it here, nothing else. Okay, and the time being, let me just remove this one and the rest of those. So I will try to copy as much as I could. For example, this one is pretty useful. I'm gonna copy the name. Let me copy some of those and come back. Right, so I try to copy as much as possible. So for example, this is like a general TypeScript, Node.js, and Next.js rules. Let's say it's a description that's general rules for TypeScript, Node.js, Next.js project, conversion code style, naming conventions, and TypeScript usage. This will be only apply for a specific case, which are the following file extension or the following files. Let's say it's TypeScript or TypeScript 6 and then JavaScript and JavaScript 6 and so on. Here's what the following rules should be applied. Let's say, for example, let's use TypeScript for all the code and prefer interfaces over types. Avoid enums, use maps instead, and so on. So it's pretty cool if you are good with that one. Otherwise, you could just say, okay, I'm not interested in this section. I could remove that one. That would not be applied at all. So let's bring that one back. All right, so another thing, another case is here, like a different case where it's convention and best practices. Let's say it's a, okay, limit the use client, for example, in the server component, nextjs SSR, the server side rendering, and then use web API access in a small component, avoid data fetching or state management, just following Next.js docs for data fetching, rendering, routing, and so on. And now we have, if you go back here, like a plenty of different rules have been added, and each one when will be applied. So in some cases, you are okay thinking this should be applied for all the files. Whatever I am touching should be applied. Then I will go to that rules. And instead of those specific files extension, I will either go here and I'll always apply or make the AI agent decide what to use. Otherwise, I will go just say, okay, always apply and give it true value. Then it will be always apply. But let's remove this one, go back. By the way, I will leave the link of the repository in description, so make sure to check it out and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. All right, so let's go back and open a new tab. So I will create a new to-do app. I do the following thing, add, and then scroll to the rules. From rules, I will select which one is the most needed for the following case. Let's say I will add the UI and styling, which is pretty necessary. For example, when I create a new project, and then like best practices could be also useful, and then could apply, for example, for general notes. Those are the cases where I specify of the following rules I needed to apply. Otherwise, I could just remove those one, as we said here. Those are the cases when should be applied. So either I could add those one or not add those one. So it's depend you would like this type of adding those here or not adding them, and specify what are the cases. Okay, so it's not bad. Let's leave them and send. So firstly, it's coming and reading the different rules and try to understand the needs of the project. So for example, it will create some UI and necessary dependencies. Let's run it. All right, so after waiting about 10 minutes, here is what happened, just a summary. So it's been creating source directory and then removing and moving the app there, and then create component and UI directory, and then started to use some utilization, then button UI, and then all of the different component. Those only happen under one prompt. So I haven't said anything after that. And then it started to say, hey, I would like to run it again. So I will go and accept all of those files. Either we go here or just manually go and confirm those has been selected. Okay, yes, correct. And go here, accept, and so on. So it's manually. Then also change the app name, give it a new name and something different description. Yes. So let me close all of those files. Nice. This is I am already running the application here in terminal. I will close it here and skip this one. Clear npm run dev. And also a beautiful thing here. Now it's give me the summary, what have been done, what are the features, and so on. This is also beautiful and also being followed by the rules has been set it here. So let's go and surprise ourselves. I give it a refresh. Let's see. Still loading. Yep. At least it seems to be added. So test added. Okay, one more thing. Maybe let's say if I open it this one, let's see if it's gonna fix this one. So I'm gonna add it to the chat. Can you fix this one? Also seems that style's not working. All right, so it been fix all the style issue. Just I copy the output from here, and then paste it directly and it fix it. But most interesting section, that's the benefit of the rules over here, was to make sure that the component follow the criteria of the rules. For example, if I go here, when you create a new component, it should be under the UI, button, model, card, and so on. So for example, here you can see it's under the source and then component and then UI, button, and every needed component that's related to UI will be added here and so on. And then another role, for example, that will be apply is to use shade CN, UI, and Tailwind for styling and so on. And then we have the convention and best practices. Maybe also use it here, for example, using the user client and so on. So I just built the application with two prompts. First one, building the whole project. Second one is just fixing the style. So let's go to the project itself. So as you can see, it's built the to-do app and they have input plus button and then nothing happened. Let's say if I give it like a test, then plus add it, and also we have like statistics, how many of them, which one is active, complete, and so on. So if I toggle this one, then it would be possible to filter by completed. If I go here, nothing will be shown. Say added, then will be active. Then if I go and check, all of them will be added. Let's say another test. Okay, it seems here. If I delete it, then it will be removed. One thing I would like to see is using dark mode. So let's see. Can you use dark mode? Give it a moment. All right, so it has been done it this way. Create a new toggle theme and then implement this dependency and then provider, as well as the changing some layout stuff there and so on. So let's accept, go back, accept, then accept, and so on. Fresh, yeah, still complying. npm run dev. Let's see. Now we have this button. Nice, super good. Another test. Beautiful. So if I go and refresh, it's still there. Yeah, most likely it's been stored in the local storage. As I said, now those rules are useful for this certain project idea. Maybe you have a different project, different needs, then I highly recommend to go to this repository and check what's your needs. And if you find this video useful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you next one.